Welcome to Beers and Buckets. This is the 2023-2024 Fantasy College Basketball Draft. We have back on to the Beers and Buckets pod. Of course, we have Dowell, but we also have Bradley Smith and Matt Sack from Rupp to No Good. And for the first time making his appearance, we have Josh. Josh, I never know how to pronounce your last name. I'm sorry, dude. But the notable Gonzaga fan from Switch Everything and Zagaholic. So what's up, Josh? How you been, man?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. And it's Linke. Linke. Linke.
Gotcha. Linke. All right, Dowell, how you doing tonight?
Good. Just had a good finish at trivia. It means that I'm probably not as prepared as I should be for this, but we're doing it.
All right. Bradley, how was your Taco Bell?
It was great. I love Taco Bell. Except my only thing, they keep nacho fries come back for like 2 days, and then they're gone for a week, and then they're back for 2 more days.
Yep.
Leave them on the app or don't have them.
Tell me about it, man. Tell me about it.
Nacho fries, where do nacho fries rank in terms of if you were drafting Taco Bell menu items?
Let's are like discontinued items included in this?
If this is your draft, you can do whatever you want.
Okay, so like the best thing I've ever had from Taco Bell was the chicken sandwich tacos. Those were outstanding. So those would be one.
Not a fan.
Then Baja Blast would have to be 2. I mean, naturally. That's the OG. And then nacho fries would be 3 for me.
Ooh, so. Wow.
That's crazy, but
there.
To each their own.
Rotation.
Yeah, that's a little crazy for me. All right, Matt, we are trying to keep you up as late as possible tonight. So how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. I'm really hyped for this draft. There's this really cool podcast called Beers and Buckets, and they've been doing like conference breakdowns. So I've been listening to all of those. So I know the best players, at least in their opinions, from the big 6 conferences. So I'm ready. I'm pumped for this draft.
I'm ready for it too. I'm actually not drafting because I had to give you guys a chance this year since I absolutely swept the voting last year. So I will just be acting as host and producer tonight for you guys. But before we do anything, I got to read an ad for our network. So we have a new partnership with Betalytics Incorporated. So betalytics.com. You could go on and use VSN to get code VSN to get 25% off any package on their site. So it just helps you with betting. So obviously bet responsibly. I'm going to use this opportunity to complain about Drake. Had a 16.5 point spread, and they were up 17 in the final minute, fouled with 20 seconds left. Lost, or they won by 15. So that was a sucky bad beat for them. So at some point you got to hire assistant coaches just to like make sure they know what the spread is, so that way they can go and be like, you go get this bucket with 20 seconds left. It's okay when they're backing off and not playing defense. But either way, I'm not happy about that. But we are also sponsored by Home Field Apparel. You could get 15% off your first order using Variety Sports in all caps as your promo code. So go check that out. I'm not wearing anything Variety Apparel tonight, unfortunately, but I do have, or not Variety, a Home Field Apparel, but I do have a bunch of stuff for that. Last thing before we get started, Josh, please, or Dowell, please tell me what this, what my shirt is from. I don't know if you can tell him that. I feel like Josh might know it, maybe Dowell, but I definitely feel like Josh might know it because I think he's the oldest of us here. But it was a popular 90s show on Nickelodeon Games and Sports, otherwise known as Nick Gas. Yes, Legends of the Hidden Temple. I had the made for my Halloween costume. I was a Legends of the Hidden Temple a contestant for Halloween this year because it was super easy and cheap. So anyways, it's a blue.
That show was everything in 95 or whatever.
Yeah. Dude, I watching the reruns is fun. The temple guards are very scary. All right. So we have the order here. What we'll do is you'll just have like a minute or so to make your pick and explain it. We'll kind of talk about your pick, but we'll just kind of keep things moving along. So the order is already set. We have Bradley with the first pick, Matt with the second pick, Dowell with the third pick, and Josh with the fourth, but it's obviously going to be snaked. Last year we did a starting 5 and a 6-man. I think we'll continue to do that. I think I said 5 before, but I like the opportunity of adding the 6-man there. So since I'm not drafting, it makes it a little bit easier too. All right, so Bradley, to kick us off, man, who are you taking with your first pick?
Connor, I have one quick question before we start.
Yeah.
We always have the rule, just because we're all a little biased, as are most of our voters. We always do one Kentucky player limit per team. Are we doing that this year? And are we extending that to Gonzaga? Not like there's 2 players on Gonzaga that anyone would want.
Yeah, one Kentucky player, or how about just one player of your favorite team? Does that make sense? So we know Bradley, Matt, you guys, and I guess Dowell, but Dowell's kind of split between Wake.
So I can't pick Cam Hildreth and Hunter Salas. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, basically, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Your favorite team or teams, and then obviously for Josh, I mean, you can't pick the entire Gonzaga starting lineup. So yes, one of your favorite teams, players, or whatever you have the most followers of. Dowell, you could make good on the Texas Tech following we have, I guess, because technically not your favorite team, but you'll farm some votes there. So, but yeah, that is the good caveat. Thank you for catching that, Matt. All right, so Bradley, who is your first pick?
All right, so I've got a couple different strategies that I want to go with to put together a really fun team. Depending on how the draft shakes out, is which one I'm going to go with. But I'm going to start off strong. I need a point guard.
First pick. You get to decide.
No, but shut up, Dowell. You'll see what I mean. And so I'm going to go with DJ Wagner. I'm going to start off strong. I need a good, solid point guard to lead my team. So give me DJ.
It's just a weird caveat for the first overall pick.
No, but I mean like the rest of my picks.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying. Never mind.
Shut up. You'll see what I mean.
Weird caveat.
Shut up, nerd. Go outside.
Yeah.
Alontis Williams sucks.
Righteous Gemstones here. Uncle Baby Billy.
Matthew.
Matt, you're on the clock, bud.
All right. So last year, I think I got a little too cute with my team. I worried a little too much about just like fit, and kind of like Cal. I tried to get in these like more experienced players, and it's just not how I want to build my team. Just load me up with talent. Give me who I think is the best freshman and might be a top 2 pick in the NBA draft. Give me Isaiah Collier. He will be the engine that makes my team go.
He is quite fun. I watched most of that Kansas State game the other day, and he is good at the game of basketball.
He is a running back that plays basketball. He plays like a running back, like absolute monster on the drive. Very fun to watch.
This is wonderful. You all can have your little freshman. I'm going to take the best guard in the country and take Tyler Kolek from Marquette.
Good.
You learn from me. You learn how to draft now from me, Dell.
Thanks, Connor.
I just want to clarify. I want to clarify. We are looking for production throughout the season, and this will be voted on at the end of the season. Is that correct?
We actually do. So we do like a voting now, and then we are going to go back and look at production later. But you're going to so a lot of it is going to be fan polls and stuff like that. But we do look at production at the end, not like hard stats, because it's obviously like we don't have a way to do that other than keeping track like of every single game. And I'm not about to do that, but we will look at who's typically more productive, because some of these picks will just turn out to be bad.
Connor, there's a thing called Basketball Reference that you can look at people's combined stats over the course of the year, right?
Then by all means, you go ahead and do it, buddy. I'm the one who edits the episode, so I don't want to do this.
I'll happily do that.
Okay. Well, on that note, with my first pick, I'm going to take Zach Edey, because I feel like he probably should have been the first pick. No offense, Brad. Just,
I had him
throwing that out there.
Value with the 4th pick. Yeah. I agree. Especially on the snake, absolutely, yeah. That's incredible value. So, yeah, you get to go again. You got Zach Edey, the returning National Player of the Year.
Yeah, so Kolek probably would have been my pick at point guard, but since
Josh
Dowell
knows
had to
ball.
screw that up for me, I'm going to go ahead and take my one Gonzaga player and take Ryan Nembhard because I feel like he's going to be the most productive point guard in America this year. So,
All right.
All right,
Gal,
I feel
you're
like
on the clock.
I have the person that I want to take, but I'm gonna risk it for the biscuit and not do that because I think I can get him on the turn, like on the way back. And hold on, I'm checking my little list here. Yeah, I think I can get him on the way back. All right, we're doing production more so, right?
It's a good blend of both, honestly. It's what it seems to turn out to be.
Production.
I think I'm going to take someone that I think is slightly more flawed in terms of like overall potential production. Matt's going to take the guy I want though. All right, I'm going to go Ryan Kalkbrenner. He'll probably win. He'll probably win Big East Defensive Player of the Year again. I don't love his ability to guard screens as well as people seem to think, but he'll have a ton of production. So I'm gonna go him.
They looked really good last night. Creighton looked really good last night.
I think
Nothing against Zach Edey or Ryan Kalkbrenner, but I think as the third center taken, I'm getting the best center in the draft. I do want a bunch of very talented freshmen, but as we've seen with Kentucky, you kind of need like a Trey Mitchell glue guy that could bring it all together. I hate that I have to pick this terrible human being, but just the vision of my team, I think Hunter Dickinson is just going to fit what I want to do so perfectly. I hate it as much as y'all.
We need him to win Player of the Year, though.
This is an objectively great pick, though.
Hunter Dickinson, Player of the Year.
It's a gross pick.
Players of the year lose to St. Peter's in the first weekend, so we need Kansas to have that curse.
I don't need to beat St. Peter's. I just need to beat you.
Oh no, yeah, I'm just saying in general, we need him to win Player of the Year. So that
this is just agenda pushing time. It's agenda pushing time right here. Yeah, Bradley, who you got?
All right, this is shaping up perfectly for what I wanted. So I am also going to take a big. I'm going to take a guy that is on the Naismith preseason watch list. Give me Trayvon Brazile from Arkansas.
I went back and forth with whether I wanted Dickinson's stupid face or Brazil, but
yes. And so again, I've got the snake in it. Shout out Gideon Gabriel, and it is
pun intended.
Sorry, I had to do it. And so with
this on this podcast,
with this, I need a backcourt mate for DJ Wagner. A guy that, for me, could be a dark horse SEC Player of the Year player. Give me Riley Kugel from Florida.
I'm so high. We haven't done our SEC preview yet, which obviously the season has started, so I don't know if we ever will. But he is going to be really, really good. He should be first team All SEC in my opinion. So that's a good pick.
Yeah, Bradley. I was gonna probably try to get him for sixth man, but yeah, that's a great pick. Very balanced
slide to my
roster
bench.
so far.
We'll see.
So I have my point guard, and I have Hunter Dickinson, and now I'm just going to start loading with talent. I'm going to take who I think is the next best available freshman to fit my team. Give me Cody Williams.
Solid pick.
Nice.
Didn't have a great debut, but I think he'll be fine.
That's fine.
Yeah. All right, Dal, who you got?
All right, it's kind of gross, but as a known height supremacist, I'm going to get a 4-man. He's coming off double hip surgery, so hopefully is going to be bad. But for this sake, I think he's going to be good. So correct. Connor is already typing. It is Kyle Filipowski.
I was waiting to see how far he would drop, but considering it was like it had to be this round.
Dowell, did you say height supremacy?
I am a height supremacist. Yes.
You sure they didn't start with a W there? What's going on with his roster?
I mean, it would fit. He goes to Duke.
I mean, and also look at the other two players on my team.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm gonna keep that in mind. That's a good call, Matt. Thank you
You need to get with the last 2 picks. You need to draft the darkest guys you can get to counter.
Shout out Winnie and Gabriel again.
There's a certain recruit. There's a certain recruit out of Nebraska who I'm not going to mention his name, but he'd really like your team right now.
Oh god, this is bad. I set myself up for this.
All right, Josh, you got the last pick here of the 3rd round.
I've seen all these SEC players go in, and I got to say, I'm getting a little jealous. I need to get in on that SEC bandwagon, and I'm going to go with Wade Taylor IV out of Texas A&M.
Great pick.
I believe he's the best combo guard in the nation, so going to go with him.
He's 6 foot, so I can't take him. So
yeah, too short for Dowell.
Oh, hey, look, Ryan Nemhard's 6 foot. Wade Taylor's. I got a theme going here. I'm going with the Short Kings.
Short Kings, I like it. All right, you have the snake here with
Zachary. You got the Short Kings and the opposite.
It's Ryan Nemhard and Wade Taylor are on top of each other's shoulders, and then they still aren't as tall.
Exactly. So to round out my front court, I'm going to take one of the most underrated players in the nation for whatever reason. I think a lot of people thought he was going to transfer out to Duke during the offseason, but that's Deron Holmes out of Dayton.
Oh, nice.
Great pick.
I had him last year, I'm pretty sure, because I was super high on him, and I was hoping to get him on this too. That's a good pick.
Great pick.
He was absolutely killing it in the exhibition I watched last week. Like, just monster.
Yeah,
he's one of the most fun defenders in the country.
Yeah,
absolutely.
All right, Dal, who you got?
Looking at my list here, I've got some solid scoring. The thing about Deron Holmes too is like there's a ton of great guards and there's a ton of great centers, but the true wing position is definitely more like difficult to hit. Let's see. He's not the biggest pro prospect, but I like his ability to kind of do everything. He also is technically a Kentucky player, but isn't currently. I'm going to go with our boy Bryce Hawkins, just because he is going to have so much usage on that Providence team.
Yes, he is. Yeah. Matt, who you got? 4th pick.
The next best freshman that's on my list. This guy, contrary to Cody Williams, did have a very good debut. Jacoby Walter of Baylor. I will take the best guard on a Scott Drew Baylor team every single year. I want to go through our list. I feel like every year I have a Scott Drew Baylor guard. Bradley looks really excited. Bradley, who did I not take?
I am, because I could not have imagined this working out better for me. I'm going to take the guy who all offseason long, I thought he was the best guy in the portal. I was absolutely twerking for him to be at Kentucky. I mean, I compared him to
He yammed on someone yesterday, though.
Yes, give me Grant Nelson. Yes. And
I have a take about Grant Nelson that I'm going to save for a future episode, but I need a little bit more film to prove it. But yeah,
he yammed on someone yesterday, though.
Nice.
Then they play Baja Blast Tech, though.
But I just didn't expect Grant Nelson. I expected a lot of Grant Nelson highlights this year. Him dunking on someone game 1 was not one that I had on my bingo sheet.
It's not on your bingo card for basketball, college basketball.
Say what you want, but we're going to be selling some posters.
All right, who you got as your 5th pick or 6th pick?
All right, I need somebody at my 3. A guy that is just a certified bucket. Give me Jordan Wright from LSU. A guy that I was really hoping to see him out of the SEC, but he's still there. But he's a bucket.
Oof. kind of an insane pick. Not gonna lie. There's a lot of guys
We'll
I would have
see.
picked over
We'll see.
Jordan Wright.
We'll see.
I'm not gonna lie. Bradley
Nick,
is just living out his like off-season trauma of watching all
Yes,
these guys
I
go to
am.
other
This
SEC
was my dream
schools.
lineup for us.
This is the he's a cat lineup.
Yeah.
All of these guys are cats. They're all on
yeah,
the
they
team.
are.
So my next pick is keeping with the theme, another 5-star freshman. I personally would have him above one or two other freshmen on this list, but Bradley, who picks right next to me, started off with DJ Wagner, so I didn't have to worry about him taking a Kentucky guy. Give me Justin Edwards to play my 3.
I knew you were gonna take him. I just didn't know when. You kept on talking about freshmen with Cody Williams and then Jacoby
Mhm.
Walter, and I was like, oh, at some point I thought you were gonna take him, but yeah.
I really considered stealing him at both the Filipowski pick and the Hawkins pick, but I feel like that he's just one of those guys that is gonna get into the league, and we're gonna look up in like 3 years, and they're gonna be like, oh, Kentucky misused him, which is
Not true, but yeah.
is not true. He just is gonna get better, and like I don't know, he's just a weird player to me for 1 year.
He was
going
to be my next pick. I wanted to have him just to get a nice little ribbon at Mac later this year, but unfortunately, he beat me to the punch.
Yep. Who do you got, Dal?
Okay, I feel like. All right, but who do I have again? Okay, I could have probably switched that one. Let's go. Let me check my list real quick again. I feel like that I'm way too heavy on Big East players right now, which is making me like kind of go away from one of my picks. But I also kind of want to pick him still. I'll do it. Look, give me Justin Moore from Villanova. I know he's coming off of his like Achilles injury, but he is a great shooter, which is something that I need with Bryce Hopkins not being like an overly great shooter. Kalkbrenner doesn't really touch the floor that much. So, give me Justin Moore.
Gotcha. Josh, you're up.
All right, so I'm going to take one of the oldest players in the nation, and I feel like one of the most experienced players in the nation, and an excellent shooter at that, TJ Shannon from Illinois.
Oh, great pick.
I thought he was gearing up to tell us that Timmy found an extra year of eligibility somewhere.
Hey,
I was about to tell him DeAndre Williams didn't get cleared for waivers, so he could
breaking news on the podcast. Timmy,
get a job.
Time is back. Yeah.
So my next pick, this one's kind of. I'm looking for a few different options here, but it's going to pain me and the fan base a little bit, but I'm going to go with Aiden Mahaney out of St. Mary's. Mark Few loves to run a 2-point guard system, and I'm going to do the same.
They absolutely killed whatever team they were playing the other day. Connor and I were like going through scores, and it was like 84-26 or something, and we were like, Jesus.
The final score was 107-28.
Good Lord.
That's your typical Gonzaga conference game.
They were playing, I believe it was Stanislaus State, wherever the hell that is.
Yeah, that was
a typical Gonzaga conference game.
Yeah.
Kind of like an STD.
They were projected to get 4th in the Mountain West.
Yeah, is that right?
All right, I need another guard. Justin Moore can kind of play guard spot, but need a scorer. Also need a guy that Bryce Hopkins and Justin Moore are just really, really basic names. And I need an all-name team person here. So I'm going to go with Boo Buie to be my third guard from Northwestern.
Had a great showing the other night as well. So, yeah, not a bad pick at all.
Y'all did not take enough of my picks. I mean, there's like 8 guys that I still want on my roster. Like, I want a platoon right now.
Any more freshmen out there?
I do have a couple freshmen on my board. I do have a couple freshmen on my board, but I think I just want a guy. He's in his 4th year of college basketball. First 3 years, never shot less than 40% from the field. He has Final Four experience. Give me Nigel Pack off my bench.
That's a good one.
I know too short for Dowell, but he'll be okay.
This is
Short king.
this is Miami, like a pro Miami podcast.
Yeah.
I am 100% on the Miami bandwagon this year. I think they're going to be
they're
really
so fun.
good.
Bradley,
Yeah.
your last pick, pal.
So I have one freshman that we can discuss later if there's time that I'm extremely disappointed did not get picked. Unfortunately, I can't pick him because he would go against the theme of my team. I'm just disappointed that no one else did.
Is it the player that's fourth in offensive rating as of this taping?
Probably not. I don't I don't know who's fourth in offensive rating.
It is one Robert Dillingham. I don't know his full name, so
No.
I can't say it.
He can't take him.
No.
No, I know, but he said he said it goes against his team.
No.
Oh, you mean just like the team building, not the like actual rules of the draft?
Yeah, no. So with my last pick, I'm gonna take a guy that's picked second team All SEC. I'd be extremely shocked if he doesn't outperform that expectation. Give me running mate of Wade Taylor. Give me Tyrese Radford from Texas A&M.
Good one.
Not a bad pick. All right, so you guys have your team. I'm actually playing a joke on you. I'm picking a team, but I'm picking from the leftover because we typically do like the who's been snubbed. So I get the all snub team here.
Nice.
You have a
All
lot
right.
of good options.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a lot of good
Connor,
players
yeah,
in college.
there
Connor,
are.
you better take my guy.
You
I
could
don't
very easily still
really know.
assemble the best team after the dust settles.
And that's the thing about this is we're talking about this before recording. There, like you still end up with a good team for the most part. So,
There's one player that you better take that I almost took with mine that I would be shocked if doesn't get taken between all five of us.
You're putting a lot of pressure on me. I feel like I'm going to overthink
I
it.
am putting a lot of pressure on
Like
you.
I'm standing at the free throw line and I'm down 2 and I need to make the one end of the front end of a 1-and-1. You know, like this is what I feel like. But anyways, I'm just actually, so in this case, I'm not really like drafting to say. I have the almanac pulled up. I have their top 100 players, which don't get me started on how bad it's already played out. But I'm not going with the first person that's been snubbed or the first 2 people that maybe go with the
All
first.
right, well then shit, you're out then.
Actually, no, I'm going with the first person that's been snubbed.
Okay.
With my first pick, I'm going with Donovan Clingan from UConn.
That was who I was talking about.
Okay. Gotcha. I'm not taking Armando Bacot. You can't make me do it. I'm not doing it. So
we could have 50 people drafting and he shouldn't be drafted.
well, he's the second person snubbed on this list.
He's so bad. Terrible. Get a job.
I'm after the other night, which I know it's night 1, who cares, but like I'm steering clear of any Big Ten players that I don't really trust, and that includes Michigan State just in general. So I'm going with my second pick with Trey Alexander.
So I almost picked him, but then I realized that I would have 2 Creighton players, and I felt like it was weird. Like, even though Creighton is not my team, that I felt like I couldn't do that.
That's fair. I was even going to try and do this draft as far as like picking from each conference, but Clingan there, just too good a value. Obviously, right. Trey Alexander, too good a value there. I'm going to do it because I know it's going to win over some votes, but I'm going to go with Tyrese Proctor as well here. And let's see.
Agreed, Bradley.
Mid.
Yeah, well, there's no bias there at all from the Wake/Kentucky fan and the Kentucky fan. Then I'm going to go with PJ Hall.
Thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
And I got some interesting decisions here. Need another guard because I like the guards. I'm not a height supremacist.
You are not.
I'm a ball supremacist.
Better take him.
There's one in particular. There's one in particular Big 12 guard that's like right at the top of that list that I'm wondering if you're gonna grab.
Yeah,
it's very close. There's two Big 12 guards in between, or another, or a Big 10 guard actually, which I know sounds a little crazy, but
Or an ACC guard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to get him to take Cam Hildreth? I agree. You should definitely take Cam Hildreth.
I don't think
he went for 33 on 18 shots. I love that man.
Okay. I'm going to do it because he's been drafted in every single one of ours. It's Max Asmus.
Yep.
Solid.
Yeah. And then off my
not
bench.
the Big 12 guard I was thinking of, but very
Me
solid.
neither.
Were you thinking of a new Big 12 team?
Yes.
I was thinking of okay, I could see where Matt's going with that one. I was thinking of the Big 12 team that Kentucky lost to in the NCAA tournament last year.
Ooh, okay.
Tyler Perry. No,
That's
no.
the other.
Yep.
Yeah, Tyler
That's
Perry.
the other one.
Yeah, the benefit of doing this, midway through the first week of the season is you already kind of got a feel for how people are going to play on their team. So,
yeah,
I would have avoided. 2 years ago I had Javon Quinterly. That was a terrible pick. Would have avoided that 100%. I guess my last pick is tough because I want to get some height, but I'm gonna go Janai Broom. I would go Tolu Smith, but I don't know how long he's going to be hurt.
I think he's probably. I was talking to one of my buddies that's a Michigan State, a Mississippi State fan. He said he kind of expects him to be out until SEC play, which would really stink. But
yeah, I'm gonna go Janai Broom here.
Oh man, you didn't take my guy.
I can't believe the guards that y'all left on. If I don't feel like I have the best guards in the country, I would be just kicking myself right now. Rob Dillingham, he was literally mentioned.
4th in offensive rating as of 10:07 Central Time on November 8th.
Man,
I would have Elliot Cadeau, Stephon
yes,
Castle.
that's my guy. Elliot Cadeau.
Cryer? No one took
LJ
Cryer.
He was there. He was there for me.
When I took Aiden Mahaney, Cryer, it was literally Cryer or Mahaney. I was right in between them.
I was between Max Asmus and LJ Cryer, and then or Jameer Young, between those three with that Asmus picks. But I went with Asmus because again we've drafted him every year. Not going to stop now.
One guy that I'm wondering if anyone considered. Did anyone consider Caleb Love?
No, absolutely not.
No.
All right. I just wanted to take a temperature in the room for how we feel about Caleb.
He's awful. He's so bad.
So I agree. At North Carolina, he was terrible. However, I think that in Tommy Lloyd's system, he's in for a massive increase in efficiency. So whether that ends up being a super productive year or not overall, we'll see. But I don't know. Tommy just has this thing with guards where he's like a guard.
The bar is on the floor in terms of his efficiency. So
yeah, yeah, I hear you.
So going through some snubs here, I'm looking at. We obviously said Armando Bacot. I just can't. I'm never gonna pick him. If I had the opportunity to get Hunter Dickinson, I probably wouldn't have taken him either. Just because that's the level of pettiness I have. Tyson Walker, which the other night he was their offense, pretty much their offense the other night.
It was not his fault they lost.
That I agree. It wasn't his fault. Omar Ballo.
You love him.
I do like him. LJ Cryer was snubbed. John L. Davis. I mean, that's a hard pick because Florida Atlantic has 10 fans. So you're never going to win the poll that way. Tyler Perry, we said. Jamal Shed. Reese Beekman. RJ Davis.
It's just boring, and Virginia doesn't accumulate stats at all.
Yeah.
So he was never going to help in that.
Yeah. So we will get the fan voting up for this starting tomorrow with the first round, and we'll go. I'll do a random seeding order, so we don't know who the seeds are yet, but we'll go from that.
I will say here, one more person that I wanted to touch on is when I took Bryce Hawkins, I considered taking Tristan Da Silva from Colorado, but I feel like 2 Colorado players in the top 25 would be kind of strange, and I went Hopkins because I think he gets more run, but he was one of the guys that I was very much considering.
I almost wanted to do just an all mid-major team. Throw Jamal Mashburn Jr. in there, even though it's not technically mid-major. It basically is. Going with Lamont Butler. You know, some smaller teams that don't get a lot of love, obviously, but it was a little hard with doing this last minute because I honestly wasn't planning on doing this draft, but I'm looking at you guys drafting. I was like, holy crap, Donovan Clingan didn't get picked. Holy crap, Trey Alexander didn't get picked.
Yeah.
I was like, I could actually put a team together in here, maybe compete with you guys, but yeah, that's tough. So I definitely went with I'm going to try and spread out the conferences if I can strategy, and we'll see if it works. So yeah, let's wrap things up here because I don't want to keep you any longer. I know Matt has had a long and exhausting day, and he wanted to get this thing done and over with. So
he's a big boy adult that has to work.
I'm just messing with you, Matt. I appreciate you coming on and doing this because I do enjoy doing this with you. So let's wrap things up here. So Matt, Bradley, where can we find you and your work?
To save us some time, we decided to start a podcast together so you could find us in the same spot for the most part.
Yep.
Rupp to No Good is our podcast name, Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeart, wherever you get your podcasts. Look us up at Rupp to No Good on Twitter, Rupp to No Good on TikTok, working on other social medias. Personally, find me at Matt Sack, R2NG on Twitter.
You can find me at 270 Bradley Smith. And just so I can explain it to Dowell real quick, if you see what I was going with, that's what I meant by theme. I have all SEC players. Yep. All right, you understand what theme means now?
I'm on the same page now. It took me a while.
Glad you could get there, buddy.
Just in tour.
You could also find Bradley on literally any of Kentucky's opponents' final score graphics if Kentucky wins. So you could definitely find him there. So just follow Kentucky's schedule and then go look at their Twitter accounts, and you'll see Bradley there about 1,000 times.
Got blocked by Georgetown College.
Josh, where can we find you and all the wonderful things you do for Gonzaga sports?
Yeah, so I'm at the Zagaholic on Twitter. I talk about all of college basketball, not just Gonzaga, but
That's
obviously
fair, yeah.
it's very Zag themed.
Yeah.
I have the podcast Zagaholic, which is on every major platform. Also the podcast Switch Everything, which is on also every major platform. And for any Kentucky fans listening, that is actually a Gonzaga / Kentucky podcast. So we do talk Cats very heavily. And otherwise, I mean, I pop in from time to time other people's podcasts and write occasionally, but yeah, love talking college basketball.
Absolutely. And we appreciate you guys.
Cool hats because that hat's sick.
Yeah, that is a cool hat. All right. Well, gentlemen, it has been an honor. It has been a pleasure. This is the shortest college basketball fantasy podcast we've done, and I'm excited for it. So here's to a new season, and we will catch you guys later. So we appreciate you guys coming on.
Thanks for having us.
Peace, y'all.
With